Hey guys, okay, so today I wanted to do a kind of how-to of highlighting and contouring, but for your face shape. I get so many people come in and they're like, oh, you put lines there and there and there, and then it's like, no. Depending on your face shape, depending on features that you like, features that you don't like, it's going to be completely different. So it's definitely not one size fits all, it's completely up to you. So I'm going to try to get started and make it as quickly as possible because there's a lot to go over. First things first, you want to even out the skin, so use a foundation or a tinted moisturizer. If you want it to be more natural, I would recommend using a tinted moisturizer as your base. If you want it to be more flawless, I would go for a foundation. For demo purposes, I'm going to be using my foundation. This is L'Oreal True Match Lumi. I'm just going to buff it into my skin, and I'm going to be using the new Sephora Pro Airbrush Blender number 78. And I'm just going to do a light layer. The reason why you want to use something lightweight is because when you highlight and contour, especially with creams or liquids, it's going to add even more coverage, so it's kind of silly to pack on a whole bunch of stuff because by the end you're going to look like a cake face. So day to day, if I were to do this, I would just use like a tinted moisturizer and just go ahead. Oh my god, this brush is like cashmere. I would just go ahead and use tinted moisturizer as my base, because then I go in with my concealer to highlight and contour, and it's just silly to put so much product. If you use a powder foundation, you have to highlight and contour before with liquids and creams, or you have to put your powder foundation first and then highlight and contour with powders. Liquids and creams always go first, and then you set with powder. Does that make sense? It's just the way of the game. There's no way around it. Okay, so after I have my base on, I'm going to start highlighting and contouring, and the brush that I'm going to use for this is the Cover FX. Comes in, actually no, this is separate, you can buy it. So one end's like a little concealer guy, and the other end's a blender, and I really love this, and I'll tell you why. Concealers I'm going to use is Maybelline Master Conceal. This is a number 10 fair, and this is a number 50 deep. This is the lightest, this is the darkest. I'm using this for YouTube. Please do not, I see so many guys and girls do this, and they use the lightest and the darkest, and they look freaking crazy. In person, it's gonna look crazy. Go 2 to 3 shades lighter for your highlight, 2 to 3 shades darker for your contour. So find your foundation, your concealer, your powder that you love in your shade, then go 2 to 3 shades lighter, 2 to 3 shades darker. No more nor less, you will go crazy. If you're very fair like I am, look for a contour that has a little bit of gray in it, or more taupey, more true brown, not so much orange in it, because the shadow is not orange. I'm sick of people saying that. Shadow is not orange, okay? If you're more medium to tan skin, your contour shade can be more of a true rich brown, or it can have a little bit of red. Usually I only like a little bit of red when I'm working with very chocolate skin, then it looks beautiful. So I like to start off with my highlight. I plot it in, and then I plot in my contour, and then I blend it out. So with the little concealer side of my Cover FX brush, I'm going to paint it in. So let's start off with our nose. For my nose isn't super long, so I like to go down the center. This will just help make it a little bit taller and a little bit longer. If you have a long nose, do not go all the way down, simply go halfway or only focus on the tip. If you have a big tip, do not highlight your tip. So see, it depends on your personal preferences. Now, I have a 5 head, so I like to highlight only this little bit right there. No more than that, because I don't want to draw too much attention to it. If you have a small forehead, make your highlighting area bigger. I have smaller lips, especially my top lip, so I like to highlight it. If you have big lips and you don't want to draw any more attention to it, do not highlight that part. My chin is pretty predominant, but I like it to stand out. I like it, I don't have a problem with it. And then I also like to go right here, because this is going to cut our contour just to make it a little bit sharper. And clean it up so that area doesn't get muddy. So just right below your natural hollow, you're just going to plot in that highlight so it just cleans it up. I also like to go around the mouth, because once again I have a smaller mouth and lip, so I like to just brighten that up, and that will also stop the contour from getting muddy in that area. And then everyone's favorite part, which is the under eye area. Okay, so this is where it kind of depends on your face shape. So I like to take mine, and I go straight down to the end of my nose, and then I go all the way back. Now, I don't have a lot of room between my brow and my hairline. So I can sweep it all the way back, and I want my face shape to kind of be kind of swept up and elongated. I like that feline-esque look. If you have a whole bunch of space from here to here and you're like painting all the way back to your ear, you're gonna look very crazy. So if you already have a wide face, don't do that. Stop pretty much at the end of your brow, and that's gonna help. So if you have a very wide face, you wanna focus all the highlighting in the center just to balance it out. If you have a very narrow face, you wanna bring and blow out all your highlights a lot further out just to give the illusion that the face is more blown out. Does that make sense? I hope so. Same on the other side, down to the end of my nose, all the way out, and then I just kind of fill it in. And this is known as our triangle of light. Okay, now we can move on to contouring. So I'm going to take that darker liquid concealer, and I'm going to take the other side of the concealer brush from Cover Effects, just so we have a clean area to work on. And I'm going to basically go from the top of my ear and kind of cut my cheekbone. I want it to look higher, and when we blend it, it's going to kind of blend down, so that's why I kind of place it higher than the hollow is. If you have a very round face, you would want to bring your contour in quite a bit and downwards. If you have a very sunken in, drawn in face, you might want to scoop it up just in this kind of area to make the apple a little bit bigger. I don't like doing that. I like to make my face look a little bit more drawn, so I kind of sweep downwards. For the forehead, once again, I have a huge, huge, huge forehead, 5-head, whatever you want to call it. So I like to shave the jizzazz out of it. So I go all around it. If you have a very short forehead, do not contour your hairline. If you have a very tall forehead like me, go ahead. If you have a very wide forehead like I do, contour the temples and the sides. If it is not, then don't do that. Just really look at your face in the mirror and kind of see, okay, this I want to bring forward, this I don't, and you'll kind of get a better idea. Side of the nose. If you already have a very skinny nose, don't do this. I don't, so I do this. Then I also like to do the tip because I like to shorten it. Then I also go below my lip. Then I like to cut my jawline as well. But if you don't want to accentuate your jawline, don't do this. Okay, so now that we look crazy, I'm going to take the blending brush, and I like to blend out my highlight first and then my contour. If you go to blend out the contour first, when you then go to the highlight, it's going to make the brighter sections less bright. So I just start by buffing, and I just do one direction. I don't egg beat, because that's going to disturb the product too much. So I just do this like... Okay, so now we have our highlight blended out. Now I start doing the contour. Now the reason why I'm not going to go like that is because it's going to move the product around too much, and we're not going to get that line. We want that line, but we don't. So I just gently bring it forward. And I also sweep it upwards because I want the illusion that my cheekbone is higher. Temples, I kind of blend to the side and into the hairline. And then the nose, I blend upwards because I don't want this section to get muddy. Lip, I just kind of blend out like that, and then jawline I just drag down to make it look sharper and my neck tighter. Blah. Okay, so this is it halfway blended. Then I like to just go back in with my highlight. If you are fair, I would recommend going back in with your highlight just to balance it out so you're not too dark. And if you are of a darker complexion, I would recommend going in with your contour or your foundation color just to balance it out. So I just want to highlight a little bit more just so I don't get too orangey. Keep in mind this is like 5 shades, 6 shades darker than I am. So I'm just going in these areas to highlight and balance it out. And then I'm going to just blend it out again like normal. then back in with my foundation brush and just whatever's left on it, or you could put maybe a pump more and just buff gently anything that you need to kind of cover. Alright, so that is how you highlight and contour, kind of-ish, for your face shape and what you want to bring forward. Ignore face shapes. What do you want to bring forward? Highlight. What do you want to recede? Contour. I have a big nose, I try to make it smaller. But if you have a small nose, don't do what I just did. It's going to look really funny and you're going to look like you got punched in the nose. Do not go as dark as I did and do not go as light as I did. Go 2 to 3 shades lighter, 2 to 3 shades darker. When it comes to highlighting, make sure that it does not look gray on you or really weird on you. If it looks too stark, you got too bright of a shade. Contour, it has to be matte. I do not want to see any shimmer. You cannot use Laguna. I will punch you in the face if you use Laguna. Laguna is really freaking gold. Yes, from NARS. Everyone loves it. Good for you. It's a beautiful bronzer. Contour, you look like a retard. Make sure your contour has no orange. You want it to be flat. And blend. If you see lines, you did not blend enough. If you do not see any definition and you look very muddy, you blended too much. Yes, it takes practice. Makeup is instant gratification, but it takes practice to be able to be good enough to get that instant gratification. If you're just starting off, use powders. Liquids and creams, I prefer the finish, but they are so much more pigmented. If you make a mistake, they're very hard to blend out. So start with your powders, then go into your creams and liquids. Do not buy a contour kit unless you are a professional. I don't use 6 shades on myself. I use 2. That's it. Now when I'm on set with a model, or if I'm doing someone's makeup at night, I don't know what skin tone they're going to be. I need a kit. You don't. So unless you are a makeup professional, don't buy into the whole kit thing. You don't need it. It's silly money that you're draining down the toilet. I just think it's silly. I hope you guys like this. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Please share it with all your friends on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Tumblr. That would mean the world to me. Please subscribe. That would make me very, very happy, and that way you don't miss out on any videos. And leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys would like to see, and I will always reply to comments to the best of my capabilities. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye!